Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. Thanks for spending a few minutes with me while I review movies. And this might actually be a few more minutes than normal because I'm kind of excited about this movie. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking the video. Thank you for commenting down below. And that's just a reminder in case you haven't done any of those things. But I'm excited about this movie. So let's get started. The movie I'm reviewing today is called Ghostbusters Afterlife. This nostalgic sequel to the 1980s popular franchise Ghostbusters is now available in theaters nationwide in the United States, at least. I don't know where you are. Hopefully it's playing there too. The movie is rated PG-13, and this is actually the second Ghostbusters film to get the rating of PG-13. It's 2 hours and 4 minutes long. I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell where I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, and I'll offer tips for parents, themes worth talking about, and even recommendations for other movies that I think that you'll also like. It's not going to be a big surprise. Anyway, let's dive in. So, in a nutshell, who are you going to call? The Ghostbusters, they're back. So after the disastrous 2016 Ghostbusters box office bomb, all further sequels were completely abandoned. Then Sony decided to make a sequel to the original two movies. Yay! So the heartfelt film has been dedicated to Harold Ramis, who passed away in 2014. At the end of the movie, you see the words "For Harold" written on the screen. They even gave him writing credits. Such a sweet tribute. He played Egon Spengler, the grandfather in the story, who was one of the original Ghostbusters. While filming, it was kept secret which Ghostbuster would be the grandfather in this sequel. And now we know. The film relies heavily on nostalgia, giving a respectful nod to the past and adding a new layer to the present day. It's about a single mom and her two kids when they arrive in a very small town after being evicted from their home. The grandfather passed away, leaving them a beat-up old home out in the middle of nowhere. Soon they begin to discover the connection to the original Ghostbusters and the secret legacy that their grandfather left behind. The sequel to this extremely popular franchise of the 80s was directed by Jason Reitman. He actually appeared in the 1989 Ghostbusters 2 sequel as the kid who tells Ray that, according to his father, the Ghostbusters are full of crap. Well, his father in real life is Ivan Reitman, the man who directed the first Ghostbusters movie in 1984 and the sequel, Ghostbusters 2, in 1989. The director actually said it was kind of awkward going to work every day with his dad because his dad wanted to be on set every single day. So it was really a family project, and I think that that's awesome. Dan Aykroyd and Gil Kenan helped Reitman with the script. And fans of the original Ghostbusters will be thrilled to learn that Dan Aykroyd really was intimately connected to this project. So the list of things that I liked is quite long. First of all, Bill Murray, yes. Ernie Hudson, yes. Annie Potts, yes. Sigourney Weaver, yes. I love seeing some of the original Ghostbusters cast in this sequel. Some of the cast members apparently were a little bit hesitant to return to their roles. Bill Murray finally agreed to it, saying, quote, "The script is good. It's got lots of emotion in it. It's got lots of family in it with lines that are really interesting. It's going to work," end quote. And he's right. This new edition really feels like it belongs to the franchise. And I love that, as opposed to the 2016 version. There were some scenes that actually made me tear up. It absolutely has a lot of heart. The opening music and the images instantly let you know that you're in for a fun adventure. McKenna Grace is the star of this movie. I'm super impressed by her acting chops. In this movie, she actually gets to wear the same glass frames that her character's grandfather, Dr. Egon Spengler, played by the late Harold Ramis wore. She wrote and sang the song Haunted House that plays during the final rolling credits. You might have also seen her in the movies Gifted, which is very sweet, The Handmaid's Tale, and even in I, Tanya. She has an incredibly bright future in films. I really am a fan. Paul Rudd is on a roll also in his film career, and he also just got named the sexiest man alive. He always plays such likable characters, right? When he announced that he was going to be in this movie, he did it on social media, standing in front of the Hook and Ladder #8 Ghostbusters headquarters in New York City, which is still there. There's actually a Ghostbusters sign still hanging on the inside of the building to this day. I actually did a tour of New York City, of that area, and they pointed to it and said, "This is where Ghostbusters was filmed," and everybody got all excited. I caught a cute Easter egg involving Paul Rudd in the movie. At one point, his character is seen reading an Avengers comic book, since he plays Scott Lang, who's Ant-Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I love that. There's something really special also about Finn Wolfhard. I can't keep my eyes off of him when he's on screen. He didn't even know that he was auditioning for the Ghostbusters movie, because the audition sides were purposefully kept secret and kind of generic and vague, really, so that the film would be a secret. Fun fact, Finn's character in Stranger Things dressed up as one of the Ghostbusters for Halloween on one of the episodes. Now, I don't know that I've ever seen Carrie Coon in anything before, but she was nominated for a Tony Award in the Best Featured Actress category for her debut role as Honey in Edward Albee's Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf. So that's awesome. Her husband, the famous Tracy Letts, plays the owner of the hardware store in the movie. I love that. Logan Kim is completely adorable. I expect to see more of him in future films as well. And listen for the voice of funny man Josh Gad, who voices Muncher in this movie. You might also be surprised to learn that the beautiful director, Olivia Wilde, voices Gozer. You get to see some clips from the original Ghostbusters. So yay, I had certain expectations, and I wanted to revisit the past as we move forward into the future. And so tick the boxes. They really did give a respectful nod to the past and kind of lay the foundation in case you forgot, or it's been a long time since we've seen those movies. Fun fact, this is the first Ghostbusters movie to take place outside of New York City. Welcome to Oklahoma. I love the double meaning of the title, Ghostbusters Afterlife. The fact that the film is a sequel refers to the afterlife of the first movies, but afterlife also refers to life after death. And so I thought that was really great. Look for more Easter eggs. And so here's another one. The Toastmaster 2-slice toaster from Ghostbusters 2 is seen in the kitchen at Egan's house. If you're interested in getting your hands on one of those Aztec death whistles that's featured in the movie, you're in luck. Believe it or not, you can actually buy it on Amazon. Click down in the description below, and I've got a link for you where you can buy it. It's only $14.99. That's a steal of a deal, and it'll come in handy for next Halloween, too. The Stave Puffed marshmallow scene is adorable and hilarious, and also a respectful nod to the first movie. There's also a new video game by Sony that's based on this movie. It's supposed to be really cool and have some really fun features. So if you're interested in that, it's also available on Amazon. Click down below for that link. Now, with all of that praise, there are a few things that I didn't like about this movie. First of all, it takes kind of a long time to get the story started. In the beginning, there's lots of interesting stuff, and you're like, what am I watching here? What's happening? And you don't really find out until about an hour or so into the movie. It also takes about an hour before you really see a ghost, too. Some of the CGI was a little bit of a miss. Then again, maybe that was intentional. For example, Gozer looked like the old 1980s creature rather than a super slick 2021 version. And so again, maybe rather than dress him up and look futuristic. He looks like the one from 1984. So anyway, other than that, really, I did like all of the movie, and I thought that they did a really good job. I would have liked to have seen more action sequences, maybe, and maybe add more new elements to the story, but still, I felt satisfied. Let me give you some tips for parents. There is talk of the death of a grandparent. There's talk of people being very poor, some scary and some humorous ghosts. You see a dead body laying down somewhere. Kids should probably watch the first two movies before watching this one, just so they can fully appreciate the background stories and the significance of the characters and Gozer, especially when you see certain characters come back. You want to have this celebration, excited moment. And if you don't really know who they are, it definitely doesn't have the same impact. Kids are going to learn a lot about random scientific facts, and hopefully they're actually going to want to be scientists because it's cool in this movie. So some of the themes that are illustrated in the movie are family, legacy, life after death, friendship, forgiveness, and, as I mentioned, science. Now, I always write down funny lines and interesting lines, and I include them on my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So you can go over there and read all of them, but I'll just share a few of them with you right now. So McKenna Grace's character's name is Phoebe, and she's a nerd, but she spouts off these random funny lines, and I thought that they were pretty cute. One of the first ones she says is, "Why should you never trust atoms?" And then everybody's like, "I don't know." And she says, "Because they literally make up everything." And I love that because it's a science joke. Plus, it's just a joke to entertain the audience. I thought that was really cute. And then another one she says is, "What do you call a dead polar bear?" And everybody's like, "I don't know." And she says, "Anything you want. It's dead. It can't hear you anymore." And I thought that that was really cute. And then later, she asks her mom, who's played by Carrie Coon, she says, "What kind of scientist was Grandpa?" And Callie, who's played by Carrie Coon, says, "The kind that repels relatives." And it made me sad that this daughter just didn't understand the father. Now, he kind of abandoned her to some extent. And so she's a little bitter and distanced from him, but she's also completely disinterested in science, even though her daughter is. So tip for parents, pay attention to the things that your kids are interested in. And the reverse is true. Pay attention to the things your parents are interested in too. All right. There are many, many other lines, but that's a good start for you, just to kind of give you a taste of the movie. So probably no big surprise, but the movie review mom grade I'm giving this is an A. I was completely entertained. Like I said, I felt satisfied and I loved the reunion. All right. So I always give movie review recommendations for other films that you should see. And so for this one, it's kind of a no-brainer. I just want you to see Ghostbusters 1 and 2. You can skip all the other stuff, the TV series, the video games if you want, definitely the 2016 version. The first two are classics, and those are the ones that are referenced in this movie. All right, that's it for my movie review. I hope if you watch this that you do get a kick out of it like I did. And thank you again for all of your support on Patreon. Thanks for listening to my podcast. Wait, what? I've got a podcast? Yes, but it, believe it or not, doesn't have anything to do with movies. It's called Daily Inspirational Quote with Trina Boice. Click down below and you can find the link, as well as links to all of the videos that I've mentioned in this movie review. So until the next review, have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.